IPFW women's volleyball team in its regular season finale, taking on Western Illinois in a Summit League match. It is the regular season finale, and Coach, obviously that means it'll be an emotional night, the last time 4 seniors in this women's program will play in an IPFW uniform here in the Gate Center, and you know there'll be a lot going through their minds and through their hearts.
Not only will it be an emotional night because it's their last night, but this match is important. They're playing for 3rd place in the conference, which is better seeding than 4th place in the tournament. So there's a lot riding on the match. They need to play much better than last night. But I think the key is that from where they started this season, if you'll remember that, Kent, they've come a long ways, and they're well poised, I think, if they recover from some of the problems they're having right now with illnesses and injuries, to be prepared to play in the tournament.
And clearly a situation where after a very disappointing loss here at the Gate Center last night to in-state rival IUPUI, they were swept in 3 consecutive games. The Mastodons need a victory tonight, not only to secure that 3rd seed, but obviously they need some momentum heading into that big tournament in Tulsa.
It's always good to come off a big win when you're going into the tournament, because it's momentum, it's positive thinking, and it's enthusiastic to come off a big win at home and go into the tournament. It
is senior night here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, and the regular season finale between IPFW and Western Illinois. Women's volleyball is coming up next on CATV.
Cable access channels are critical tools for educational institutions. They are used to distribute emergency information, school announcements, event calendars, and student-produced media. They also allow you to watch your local Board of Education in action. Through the provision of educational access channels, our communities are kept informed, educated, and entertained. Where else can you get information about your local schools? Make sure everyone has a voice. Support your local educational access channel.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field, and IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Really emerged this season as a force in the IPFW front line. 74 blocks, 16 of those coming in contact action with a school record. And the final senior to be honored as she makes her way onto the floor, Jessica Miller, of course. Final senior local talent. She makes her way onto the floor, Jessica Miller, final senior IPFW makes her way 1,000 skill club earlier this year. 18th at IUPUI. And she is also joined on the floor by her parents. And what a great-looking group of seniors this is, Mark. As you take a look, Christine Simon, Jessica Dominiak, Kylie Hervey, and Jessica Miller. Kelly's assistants are Stephen Florio and Betsy Krukeberg. And now the teams shaking hands at the net, and they'll prepare for their final huddles. And we are just about set for volleyball. The officials tonight, the up official, will be Dave Sine.
The IPFW.
Dominiak to pass a little tight to the tape, so Justice took the left hand and flipped it over off to the center. That'll give first. So the Dons on the trail by 1-7. And it jumped serve that time by Ashley Dillon. They battle at the net. A little joust that time between Christie and Hurley. And the ball came on to the Dons side. And it was Green playing a little soccer afterwards, but the point goes to Western Illinois. Going to have to play a free ball over. Jess Miller passes up. Good ball for Dominiak to handle. Ream, though, what a block that time by Sarah Trimpe. Boy, Rebecca had a big swing, but Trimpe got those hands neatly across and roofed it back down onto the Don side. Point for Western, and it's 10-8 Western wins. Kate Egan, the 6'1 freshman from Evergreen Park, will serve. Flipped up by Christine Simon. Bump set. Ream, and it is good. Well, a cut spike that time by Rebecca Ream, and she caught the sideline, so give Becca yet another kill, and it's 10-9 Western Illinois. Serve is flipped up by Bergquist. She takes the pass. Dons block her swing attempt. They're going to go again, this time to Tocek. Dons keep it alive. Bumped over by Christine Simon, flipped up by Bergquist. And there's that quick move by Sarah Trimpe. The center flips that left hand over deep into the far corner. Point for Western, it's 11-9 Western.
She's gone to both corners now, so that shows she's very versatile.
Trimpe is a senior out of Normal, Illinois. Green goes to the knee to bump up that tough serve. Miller cuts again the spike around the block, but Western keeps it alive right down the middle, and putting it down is Tocek. And I think Kelly Hartley has seen enough here in game number 1. Time off the floor with Western Illinois leading IPFW 12-9. Mastodons volleyball on
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names. University Fort Wayne, one university, two great names.
Now the Mastodons Fort Wayne, one university, two great names. Western Illinois, one university, two great names.
Excellence lives here. Here in Northeast Indiana. It's reflecting around 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus lab. Excellence has a name. IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University.
No touch, and the spike is a little bit wide that time, so now draw the Dons to within 1. They now play 12 to 11. 12 lead. Another big serve. This time it's dug up by a lunging Ellen Miller.
Really?
All they can do is play a free ball. Schwartz with a pass. Dominiak down the middle, and it's put down by Taryn Parker.
It's amazing in volleyball how momentum changes so quickly, especially in the women's game, more so even than the men's. But you just saw it after the timeout, that momentum changed.
And it's on the serving of Rebecca Ream. There's a better ball for them to handle, and this time the big right arm of Monique Houston puts it down. So after trailing 12-9, the Dons took a 14-12 lead, and after that kill by Western, the lead is cut to 1, 14-13. Houston, ball is bumped up that time by Dillon. They set it to Jess Miller, diving save attempt that time by Trimpe, but gives Miller the kill. The Dons move ahead by 2 at 15-13. And Coach, it looks like IPFW is starting to gain a little bit more rhythm and momentum.
Yeah, and it's good to see that the offense is being a little better distributed so far tonight than it was last night.
Back set goes to toe check, but the Dons say, sorry, nobody's home, and a great block with Ashley Dillon up there. Little help from Kylie Hervey as well. Now it's 16-13 IPFW, and this is the Dons' biggest lead of game one. IPFW serving very well, but there is Trimpe again pulling the surprise party. The setter just flipped it into the open court. Boy, she put it in the Bermuda Triangle, and yet another kill for Trimpe. And during the timeout, you made a heck of an observation, Coach.
Yeah, she is the leading attacker on their team in terms of attempts.
And she's the setter. Dons lead 16-14. Elise Cerniak, the junior libero, with the serve bumped up by Ream. Good ball for Dominiak to handle down the middle. Hervey tries to cut it, and she does, and puts it on the sideline. Ooh, what a swing by Hervey, and the Dons move ahead 16-14. Again, they have the 3-point lead.
That was the problem before. The middles were hitting it directly into the middle straight ahead, and she took the angle that time and got a kill.
Well, the set comes down the middle, but it's a moot point because a Mastodon is in the net, so that will give Western Illinois the point, trimming the Dons' lead to 17-15 here in game number one. Again, a best 3 out of 5. Chrissy Berquist with the serve. That's the third service error of game number one committed by Western. The Dons have not committed any service errors. They have 2 aces. Jump serve that time by Ashley Dillon. Trimpe sets it. It's hit through the net that time by Gilbert, but the Dons have it alive. Ream pounds it off the block, back on the Dons side. Dominiak goes for it, drills it through the block, so Jess Dominiak will pick up a kill. And now the Dons with their biggest lead of game number one, it bulges up to 4 at 19-15. Dillon with the serve, great save that time by Muehlbauer. And the swing by Kate Egan gets deep into the corner. So that will break some of the Dons' momentum. Out goes Ashley Dillon for IPFW. Back in is the senior Christine Parker. And Monique Houston rotates back in for Western Illinois. It'll be Ellen Miller, a sophomore defensive specialist, to serve it up for Western Illinois. Little floater bumped up by Ream. Dominiak sets for Becca. Becca through the block, but right there is Cerniak. Flipped over again by Trimpe. And Sarah Trimpe has her 5th kill. The setter is leading in attacks, and she also is leading the Westerwinds in kills now with 5.
Leading the whole match in kills.
Now Dominiak says, anything you can do, I'll return the favor. And I have to feel that Jess Dominiak's taking that as a challenge. If their setter is going to be active as far as attacking, Jess says, I'll join the party, and she gets the kill.
The difference, they're both left-handed, and that's an advantage for a setter. But the difference is Jess Dominiak likes to swing at the ball as opposed to simply dump it, as we'd say.
Swing by Houston, great dig by Miller. It comes to Jess, there's a nifty little dink. It's saved by Trimpe. Set comes to Houston, a runner, and that is bumped up that time by Simon. Dink attempt that time, and what a beautiful play that time by Taryn Parker. Disguised it very neatly. And the Dons have a 21-17 lead. Now Western Illinois has taken timeout with the Dons up by 4. This is IPFW Volleyball on CATV. Reams had 14 swings already?
Yeah. But Miller has more tonight, and that helps.
Was it all Becca all night last night?
Yeah.
Back at the Gate Center, the Dons on top, 21-17, game number 1. Jamie Schwartz with a crisp serve over the net, and that is an ace for Jamie. Boy, that barely grazed over the net, and it went right to the feet of Ellen Miller, so that will be the third ace for IPFW. 22-17, and Schwartz again with another serve. Houston drills it through the block, but Ream saves it off the shoulder. Miller plays a free ball over. Trimpe with the set. Houston again, and this time she gets it through the block and in front of a diving Schwartz. So that'll make it a 22-18 IPFW lead. The Dons in their blue uniforms, except for the libero, Schwartz, who has a white top. And Western in whites. Dominiak sets for Ream. Ream just drills it through the block. Boy, a lunging save that time by Ellen Miller. And Houston hits it wide, so that'll be a swing error by Western, and IPFW now leads at 23-18. Dominiak with the serve. Trimpe from the floor. Boy, they managed to keep it alive, but Ream sees an open corner and flips it back that way. Miller got a hand on it, but to no avail. And so the Dons are widening the lead and starting to take control of game number 1, 24-18. IPFW has served very well. There is another ace by Schwartz, and the Dons move on top 25-18, and they close out game number 1 as IPFW has defeated Western Illinois in the first game 25-18 as the Dons took some huge momentum, and they take game number 1 in convincing fashion as a bit of a slow start, but the Dons win the opener 25-18. We'll be back with game number 2. This is Mastodon Volleyball on CATV.
Triglycerides or trigs have to do to get noticed? Heart disease and stroke? Really? We should pay her more attention. Normal triglycerides are below 150. High triglycerides increase your risk of heart disease. And if you're a woman, that risk goes up even more. After standing in the shadows of good and bad cholesterol, triglyceride, also known as the forgotten fat, is ready to share the spotlight and the attention. Next time you have your cholesterol or blood fats tested, ask your doctor about the role triglycerides play in your heart health. Remember to ask your doctor about the good, the bad, and the forgotten fat. For more information on all of your blood fats, the good, the bad, and the forgotten, go to ForgottenFat.com. And remember, normal triglycerides are under 150.
This message brought to you by Sister to Sister, working together for healthy hearts.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
On IPFW Up Close this month, what impact did the first hillbilly and race records from the early 20th century have on artists and audiences? How has today's music been influenced by those early albums? What did you do on your summer vacation? We'll find out what it was like to study dinosaur footprints in Texas. And we'll also take a look at the United Way of Allen County and its annual campaign, both on and off the IPFW campus. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Access TV.
Back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW, along with IPFW men's volleyball assistant coach Mark Franke. Kent Horman here on CATV. Well, the Dons took game number 1 after a bit of a slow start in rather convincing fashion as they take it by the score of 25-18. And coach, the tail of the tape, you saw some impressive numbers there from IPFW.
What really made the difference there, the hitting was about the same on both teams. Western Illinois had a slight advantage in blocking, but the serving, there was a 6-point difference in serving. 3 aces by IPFW, 3 errors by Western Illinois. That's the margin of that game, 24-18.
Well, now the officials are making sure that both teams' lineups are where they should be. And again, our officials for this match, Dave Sines is the up official, Chuck Irby is the down official. Both of these teams coming off of tough losses last night. The Dons fell right here in the Gate Center to IUPUI in 3. It was a tough night, but Jess Dominiak was suffering from the flu, and Kelly Hartley-Hutton's lineup was a wee bit helter-skelter, and they had to rely heavily on Rebecca Ream, spreading things out a little bit more evenly tonight. Western Illinois coming off a tough loss in 5 at Oakland. Underway in game number 2, Dominiak runs it down. Jess Miller with the swing, gets it through the block, but it's bumped up by Ellen Miller. The set goes to Monique Houston. Dons block it. Another chance down the middle, and this time blocked again is Kate Egan. And the ball goes a little bit wide. Boy, what a great block by the Dons as they just battled at the net, and they come away with the point to take the 1-0 lead in game 2.
That was an advantage that Western Illinois established early, is control of the net, and IPFW now has countered that. So we'll see how it develops, which team manages to take control into the second set here.
Well, Rebecca Ream, who served so well in game number 1, has committed a service error in game number 2. That's the first service error by the Dons, though, in the match. Now Schwartz bumps up the serve. Dominiak back sets for Jess Miller through the block, but a very neat dig that time by Bergquist, and Houston loads it up, but that's dug by Jamie Schwartz. Down the middle comes Ream. Oh, what a great save that time by Ellen Miller. They battle at the net, flipped over, and now Dominiak will set for Jess Miller. Jess through the block and down the line. What a great swing by Jess Miller. Kelly Hartley-Hutton up off the bench. Boy, she shows her approval. That was a super swing by Jess Miller.
She's really comfortable on the right side of the net there in the front row, where she has 2 rotations. And if we can use her in those 2 rotations, that will really help.
Boy, the dink attempt is saved by a diving Ream. They battle at the net. So far, the Dons win the joust. Flipped over by Cerniak. IPFW reloads. And Kylie Hervey is dug up by Bergquist. They keep it alive, but no, that time Ellen Miller bumps the ball into the net. That'll be a point for the Dons, and they take a 3-1 lead. Dons won the opener in this best 3 out of 5, 25-18. Another crisp serve is flipped up by Bergquist. Battle at the net. Dons save it, but Hervey, as she puts it over, hits it wide, so that'll be a point for Western. And the Western Winds close to within 1, trailing the Dons 3-2. Sarah Trimpe, the senior setter, with the serve, goes down the middle, bumped up by Ream. Dominiak back sets for Miller. Jess over the block, saved by Trimpe, bumped over by Houston. They'll set the short ball. Hervey tries to wipe it off the block. Diving save by Ellen Miller. They load it up again. That time it's dug by Cerniak, the libero. Played from the other side of the net, and that'll be too wide and around the antenna. So give the Dons the point and the 4-2 advantage.
An awful lot of first and second balls being put over the net this match tonight. Some of it's, I think, just kind of sloppy play. Neither team is executing offenses real well.
Now Jess Dominiak.
There she did it, but that was intentional there.
Yeah, has the overpass and basically a pinata hanging over the net, so Jess puts it down with authority, and now the Dons move ahead 5-2. Miller with the serve. Going to the floor that time is Ellen Miller. They had to play a free ball over. Good bump pass that time, and down the middle, Hervey wipes it off the block. A crafty play by Kylie. And now the Dons trying to take early command of game number 2, 6-2.
You were right what you said earlier about Kylie Hervey really developing her senior year.
There's a big swing that time by Tocek, but the Dons dig it. There are a lot of touches. Ooh, what a swing that time by Ashley Dillon, but it's kept in play by Western. Dillon loads up again, and that time she smokes it off the arm of the diving Trimpe. Ooh, Ashley Dillon with a cannon. 7-2 IPFW, and you wonder how long it'll be before Kim McKay, the coach of Western, calls a timeout. Down the middle, and boy, an awkward shot played over by Bergquist. Chance for the Dons again. Dominiak, left hand, sliding save by Cernak. And there is a miss hit that time by Bergquist, so the Dons all over Western in game number 2 by the score of 8-2. And Kim McKay, the coach of Western, is sitting right next to us, and she's looking, well, a little bit frustrated. Oh, the set that time, though, goes to Monique Houston, and she said it's time to turn this momentum around.
I think what's happened to Western Illinois is that IPFW has certainly been more aggressive on the serve, which has broken down their passing, but also more aggressive in their attacking, which makes the defensive handling, the dig, not as accurate.
Well, that time the serve kind of handcuffed Rebecca Ream, and it put the Dons out of sync, so they put the ball into the net. I think that was one of those knuckle serves by Monique Houston. Here comes the floater again. This time a good pass by Becca. Dominiak down the middle on the slide. Did Hervey wipe it off the block? No. That time she airmails it, and it'll go long, and that'll be a point for the Western Winds. So now what was an 8-2 Dons lead is now 8-5. Ream with the high pass. Dominiak sets. Dillon is dug by a diving Houston. The set comes across. There's a swing and a wipe off the Dons block by Allison Gilbert. And here come the Western Winds. It's 8-6 if the Dons once led 8-2 in this game. Another serve, pumped up by Dillon. The set comes to Ashley. Ooh, she loads it up and a little bit beyond the baseline. Well, looks like Kelly Hartley-Hutton will make some substitutions. In comes Shannon Reuter. She is a junior out of Tiffin, Ohio. Also checking in is Mayara Schlindwein.
She just went to what it's called her 6-2 offense. The setter and the opposite have changed. They're in different positions on the floor.
Now this rally from being down 8-2 to within 8-7 coming off the serving of Monique Houston, and I know more than say that. And she commits the 4th service error of the match. Rotates out, and back in is Lindsay Muehlbauer, who is a defensive specialist, and they serve it right at her, but she bumps it up neatly. There's the set, and the swing by Allison Gilbert is into the net, so the Dons move back ahead by the score of 10-7. It's a good look at Ashley Dillon, the freshman from Bishop Dwenger. There's another swing. That time Gilbert gets it off the hand of Reuter. So Gilbert, a 6'2 freshman out of West Salem, Wisconsin, give her the kill, and that makes it a 10-8 Mastodon lead. Cerniak with the serve. Bumped up neatly by Ream. Reuter, jump back set. Miller is blocked, but the Dons save it. There'll be a battle of the net. Ream, yes, Rebecca gets it off the block, and it rides down the body of Bergquist. Yet another kill for Rebecca Ream. Well, coach, she certainly is getting her share of swings. She now has 6 kills. Jamie Schwartz will serve for the Dons. Big floater, and it's off the arm that time of Muehlbauer, who seemed to in between herself.
One of the things teams will do on serve receive is say who's passing the seams between the players. That's known, and it appeared to be confused there.
Another good serve by Schwartz. This time Muehlbauer gets it up. Kate Egan is dug neatly by the Dons. Now pounding it is Schlindwein, but Western keeps it alive. Oh, what a swing that time by Bergquist, but right back at her. A good block by Taryn Parker, and the Dons move back on top by 5, 13-18.
I think it was Rebecca Ream that got that one.
Well, Schwartz's serve goes a little bit wide. That'll be an error committed by the Dons. Ream got the bigger chunk of that ball.
I think so. Yeah, when 2 blockers go up, they both get half a block credit.
Chrissy Bergquist with the serve. Reuter again, the jump back set, flipped over that time by Schlindwein. Ball is kept alive. Now it's Schwartz with a save. Set comes to Ream. Ream on the run, but she puts it into the net. The set wasn't quite where Rebecca wanted it nor expected it, so that'll make it a 13-10 game number 2. Dons won the first one 25-18. Best 3 out of 5. Bumped up that time by Dillon. That time Parker wipes it off the Western block. Here's a good look at Taryn Parker, the sophomore middle out of Alto, Michigan. Well, Schlindwein and Reuter rotate out, and back in is Dominiak.
What that double substitution does is keep the setter in the back row, so there are always 3 front row hitters.
Serve is bumped up by Muehlbauer. They come down the middle, but Schwartz is there to dig Egan. Dons flip it over, kept alive by Cerniak. Well, Dons will have to play a free ball over, and Schwartz just flips it into the net. So, again, a little bit out of sync, and Schwartz puts it right into the netting. 14-11 is the IPFW lead, and now Gilbert and also Muehlbauer go out. It'll be Ellen Miller, sophomore out of Chicago, to serve. Schwartz with a good pass. They come down to Ream down the middle, off the block, kept alive. Overpass that time, and Jess Miller, well, I think went sideways with it.
Well, I think she lost the joust.
That was a good battle at the net, and it was won by Western. Little float serve by Ellen Miller, bumped up by Ream. Dominiak with the bump set. Here comes Jess Miller, goes off the arm of Ellen Miller. Free ball is flipped over. Dons will reload. Back set, Ream drills it off the block. And give Rebecca Ream the kill.
When the blockers go up vertical, by vertical I mean they don't extend over the net, you can hit it right into them and it comes down on their side of the net nearly every time.
Well, it's 15-12 in favor of IPFW in game number 2. The Dons leading 1-0. This is Mastodons Volleyball on CATV.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Well, hey, fans, for tickets to IPFW athletic events, you can call 260-481-6000. That's 260-481-6000. Or go to the IPFW Athletics website, www.gomastodons.com. Basketball tickets also available at the Coliseum box office. Discount packages are available in family 4-packs for Senior Citizen Saturdays, and also bring your group to the hoop packages. IPFW athletic events all season long, either here at the Gate Center or Memorial Coliseum. Now Rebecca Ream will serve for the Dons. Here comes the big pounding jump serve, and it's dug up by Cerniak. Here comes the set on the slide, but what a great block that time by Taryn Parker, right back at Kate Egan. And the Dons move back ahead by 4, 16-12 game 2. They won game 1, 25-18. Ream with the big serve. That time it's bumped up by Ellen Miller. Joust at the net, but Don's a little bit out of sync, and Taryn Parker couldn't dig it up out of the netting, so that'll be a point for Western and a 16-13 Don's lead.
Nice save by Houston there. The set was going way outside and tight to the net. She got it over and got the kill.
Jamie Schwartz bumps it up. Here comes the set across, and that time Ashley Dillon wipes it off the Western block. Boy, Ashley Dillon has really come on and I think been a burst of energy. Of course, Ashley, a great star at Bishop Dwenger High School, freshman year here at IPFW. There's a serve that handcuffs Chrissy Berquist, so Ellen Miller has to save it, and more or less a free ball played over. Back set to Jess Miller, off the top of the block. Yes, it is. She wiped it off the block and give Miller another kill. So Jess will have kill number 5, and Coach, you pointed this out. They've spread the wealth where Ream has a lot of swings, 7 kills in 21. Miller has 5 kills in 18. Now the defensive libero, Cerniak, has to play it over, and the Dons had one chance. They'll load it up again. O'Hervey with an overpass, and you can tell Kylie not really comfortable at the net or trying to bump set because she set it around the net and on the wrong side. So the point goes to the Western Winds, and it will be Sarah Trimpe, the senior setter from Normal, Illinois, to serve it up. Floater flipped up by Ream. Dominiak bat sets for Miller. And that time her swing is a little too high. It carries over the block but out of bounds.
She tends to hit the ball deep into the court, and so if she misses the block entirely, she gets a lot of hitting errors off the back line.
Trimpe with a good floater tight to the tape. The set goes for Hervey, and she gets it off the block. It was off the tip top of the block, so Kylie Hervey with the kill. 19-15 Dons. Jess Miller with a knuckle serve, bumped up by Ellen Miller. Back set goes to Monique Houston. She's out of sync, and she hits it right into the belly of the netting. So now the Dons padding that lead back up to 5 at 20-15, closing in on a victory in game number 2. Serve by Miller floats wide, and that will be the Dons' 3rd service error of this match. Western has 4, but they have no aces. The Dons have 4 aces. Monique Houston with a floater, bumped up by Schwartz. Set comes across. Ashley Dillon with authority just rips it off the forearms that time of Sarah Trimpe. And give Ashley Dillon the kill.
She's been going down the line a lot. So that must be open on the block, and she's hitting the ball pretty hard. So you might see more kills from her out of that.
Well, now she gets an ace because she took a real change of pace serve. Looked like she was going to snap it, and it came in front of Elise Cerniak, who just went to the floor and couldn't really peel it off and then overpassed it. Now another crafty serve Well, Berquist has to play a weak ball over. Hervey, it's saved by Cerniak. Cerniak again just flips it over. Ream. Dominiak sets for Becca. Becca off the block. Can they save it? Oh, what a great diving save, but no. Trimpey with a pancake. But then the Western Winds couldn't locate the ball near the net, give Becca the kill, and IPFW is closing in on game number 2, 23-16. Bump pass by Berquist. The set goes to Tocek, but the Dons dig it up. Schwartz just flips it over. Diving save by Muehlbauer. And they flip it into the far corner. Boy, there was a good alert play by Western. They found a little opening deep in the far corner. Schwartz could not run it down. That makes it 23-17.
Our defensive alignment tends to leave the deep corners open a lot.
Dominiak to Ream. It's a laser that was bumped back over. It came right back at Becca, and then she flipped it out of bounds, kind of in self-defense. Well, the point on a good play by Elise Cerniak, who will now serve, draws Western to within 23-18. They go back to Becca. There's the dink. They're so used to expecting that power game from Ream. Boy, the dink left them wide open.
Yeah, when she does that, it's intentional. It isn't a loss of confidence. She intentionally goes for an open spot on the floor.
Game point for the Dons. Jamie Schwartz to serve. It's bumped up by Allison Gilbert. Dons try to roof it back over. It's on the Western side. Another good block, and they get to it. Muehlbauer tries to save it. Flipped over. Here come the Dons. The set comes to Jess Miller. And a little bit wide. Well, there was one game point. Dons couldn't quite put the finishing touch on it, so Western lives for at least another point. It'll be Chrissy Berquist to serve it up. She's just a freshman out of Algonquin, Illinois. Dominiak to Ream, off the block, but it's saved by Muehlbauer, and she'll have to bump a free ball over. Dominiak, they go to Taryn Parker on the slide. Great save by Berquist. Now flipped over by Allison Gilbert. Here come the Dons. Dominiak looks for the open court. Muehlbauer's there. They come down the middle, and getting the swing and getting it down is Kate Egan off the arms of the lunging Schwartz. 24-20, yet another game point for the Dons, and Berquist continues to serve. Little floater, Ream will take the return set, pounds it off the block, and that'll do it. Ream will have her 10th kill, and the Dons take game number 2, 25-20. So IPFW moves on top, 2-0 over Western Illinois in this best 3 out of 5. They win the first one 25-18, and game number 2, 25-20. So coming up, we'll have that break between games 2 and 3 as the teams will go to their respective locker rooms for a 10-minute intermission to talk things over. And we'll be back with more of IPFW Women's Volleyball right here on CATV.
Nothing gets my blood pumping more than a packed stadium, fans cheering, and the swish of a perfect basket. When I was diagnosed with colon cancer, it became an eerie silence. Early detection helped me, and it can help you too. Today, colon cancer can be treated with minimally invasive surgery, which will get you back in the game sooner than open surgery. I want you to meet my friend, Dr. Michael Harris, who's joined me in the fight.
Good one, Coach. Each year, more than 145,000 Americans will be diagnosed with colon cancer. It's the second largest cancer killer in the United States, but it doesn't have to be. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and if found early enough, beatable. If you are over 50 or have a family history of colon cancer, speak to your doctor, get screened, and understand your treatment options. Heads up, Coach.
Visit mybluestar.org and pass it on.
I guess I'm like most kids. I work hard, I go to class, and I want a degree that's going to mean something. I had offers from other universities, but I wanted the best out of my college choice. I wanted a great education and the campus life to go with it. Student housing, Division I sports, I found it all right here at IPFW. Hey, this is my university, my life, so it's got to feel right. I'm really glad I chose IPFW. I love it here. Go to their website.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, one university, 2 great names.
Hey, IPFW fans, the latest Mastodon scores and stats are available on the World Wide Web at www.gomastodons.com. Check up on the teams, players, and you can order tickets at the official Mastodon Athletics website. And oh, by the way, have you heard about the Royal Dons Club? Participate in the excitement of Mastodon Athletics with the Royal Dons Club, IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy athletics-related special events, priority access to tickets, and more. To learn about the Royal Dons Club, call 260-481-6894. That's 481-6894 for the Royal Dons Club. Or you can write to the Royal Dons Club, 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Or again, you can go to the IPFW Athletics website. There you see it, gomastodons.com, and you can also call 481-6000 for more information on Mastodon tickets. Well, we are at the intermission, the 10-minute break between games 2 and 3, here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, along with IPFW men's volleyball assistant coach Mark Franke. Kent Horman, delighted you could join us tonight on CATV, and really, Coach, so far in the first 2 games of this best 3 out of 5 match, it has been all IPFW Lady Volley Dons. They got off to a wee bit of a slow start in the first game, then took control and took the opener 25-18, and then a lot more of the same in game number 2, 25-20. They've played some very solid volleyball.
They improved the part of the game that Western Illinois was controlling, that was at the net. Western Illinois had 3 blocks in the first set, and I think IPFW had 1 or none. And now IPFW leads in blocking. Western Illinois actually had no blocks in the second set. So blocking is a slight advantage now in terms of points scored to IPFW. Serving, as we said earlier, is a big IPFW advantage. It's a 7-point advantage in serving. And in offense, when you consider kills minus errors, it's another 7-point advantage for IPFW. So in all the statistical categories that score points, IPFW has the advantage.
And I know this is something your boss preaches frequently, Arnie Ball, about any time I talk to Arnie about a key to the match, he says very simply 3 words: serve and pass. It's serve and pass, serve and pass, and serve and pass. And I really think through the first 2 games, IPFW has served and passed awfully well.
Certainly served well. I think the passing on both sides is still
a little bit loose.
Not where the coaches want it, but it particularly has broken down the offense for Western Illinois. But even IPFW's offense hasn't been all that well executed. We've seen a lot of off-speed hits because simply that's the only option this hitter had. There's not a lot of kills coming out of the middle for IPFW.
Yeah.
The advantage has really been on the outside. Both Jessica Miller and Rebecca Ream are getting a lot of sets. And Rebecca Ream is leading the team in kills with 10. That's typical. That happens pretty much every night.
Well, one of the things you talked about, and again, for folks who just might be joining us, this is the regular season finale for the IPFW women's volleyball team. They will be playing in the Summit League tournament because they are one of the 4 teams that did qualify for the tournament: North Dakota State, Oral Roberts, IPFW, and IUPUI. And coming off a tough loss last night here when IUPUI came in here and really handed it to the Dons in 3 consecutive games. You know, for Western Illinois, this is it because they will not qualify for the tournament. They're coming off a tough 5-game loss at Oakland last night. But the Dons looking to regain some momentum. It's senior night. It's emotional for the 4 seniors who have played in this match, and it'll be their last game in an IPFW uniform in the Gate Center. But it has been so important to spread things out a little bit. Yes, Rebecca Ream is the go-to lady. That's a given. But to get some sets for Jess Miller as well, Kylie Hervey has contributed a little bit as well. So you have to spread things out a little bit so you can't stack the block on one person all the time.
I just looked at the stats, and I probably was wrong in saying our middles have not been that effective hitting because the IPFW middles have 7 kills in 13 attempts, which is a pretty good hitting percentage.
One key also as well is Jess Dominiak really couldn't play last night because she was fighting the flu bug. Having her back tonight, and it's good that she felt well enough. I have a feeling it would have taken a lot to keep her out of this lineup because she is one of the 4 seniors. Kylie Hervey, also Christine Simon, and Jessica Miller. But Jessica Dominiak is a veteran, and having her back in there in that setter's role, I think, has also been important tonight and important to her as a senior.
They had several players who were sick last night. Dominiak could not play and probably was rested for good purpose, to keep her down and make sure she's back and ready to go tonight. When someone's sick, if you put them on too soon, they don't get well any faster. When you consider the team was on the road last weekend to the Dakotas, that was a long road trip. So whatever they got, they were passing it around.
Well, and there we see some of the highlights from the first couple of games. Again, the teams battled a lot at the net. IPFW, though, trying to keep the ball in play a lot. And when you get some good sets and you have Rebecca Ream, and there's a point where Rebecca, who's known for the big power, just puts a little dink over, and oftentimes IPFW did win those jousts at the net. Monique Houston, there you saw a big swing by Monique. She was one of the key hitters for Western Illinois as well, but IPFW seemed to finally start taking control of some of those battles. Another good swing there by Western Illinois as they get it down. It was knocked down that time by Tocek. So, well, it was kind of like a boxing match. The teams feeling each other out in the early rounds, and it seemed IPFW kind of found that weak underbelly where they could jab a little more effectively and take control. And again, the Dons, as they won game number 1 by the score of 25-18 and game number 2 by the score of 25-20. The Dons will look to close things out, hopefully in 3, and the teams have returned to the floor, and they will get a little bit of instructions from their coaches.
So we'll see now what happens to the momentum. That 10-minute break can really kill momentum. You win the first 2 sets, you go down to the locker room for 10 minutes, things come up differently when you're back on the floor. So we'll see what happens here.
Well, we'll take this time out and we'll be ready for game number 3. We'll see if IPFW can close this out in 3 straight. This is Mastodons Volleyball on CATV.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field, and IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Underway in game number 3. The teams battle at the net again. Monique Houston dug up by Jess Miller. Jess now will pound it off the top of the block, but it is kept alive now by Western. Oh, that time Monique Houston went for it all and just wrapped it right into the netting. So the Dons take the quick 1-0 lead in game number 3, having won the first 2, 25-18 and 25-20. Amy Schwartz, who's served well in this match, gets it over. Monique Houston tries again. The Dons block it. That was Dominiak with the quick hands. Now they try to flip it over the block. Set comes down the middle. Jess Miller pounds it right through the block of Western Illinois, and now quickly 2-0 Dons. Good look at Jess playing her final match here in the Gates Center. She'd like to have a little longer run once they get into the Summit League tournament. Now Schwartz's serve goes long, and the Dons have committed another service error.
That's what the Mastodons need to worry about in this third set. Since they won the first 2, they want to make sure the unforced errors don't go up in the third.
You know, that was kind of a serve that was handled loosely by the Dons, but they turn lemons into lemonade, and a big swing by Jess Miller handcuffs Chrissy Berquist. So the Dons move on top 3-1. Dominiak with the serve, and she drills that off the body of Tocek, and that will be the Dons' 7th ace of the match. Well, the service errors are even at 4 apiece, but that's a key element of this match. 7 aces for the Dons, 0 for Western Illinois. They come down the middle to Houston, dug up neatly that time by Ashley Dillon. Houston again is dug up. Oh, and the Dons just kept the point alive, kept working, kept digging, and they will get the point for Rebecca Ream.
What the service aces statistic does not tell you is how many serves that weren't aces but still shackled the offense such that the Mastodons could turn the ball on transition and score.
Well, there an error gives the point to Western to make it 5-2. Ream goes to the floor to save the ball. Ashley Dillon dug up by Muehlbauer. Little helter-skelter right now is the play. Now they set it. Ream just puts the hammer down, but now they're saying it didn't get the tip of the block, and it's a little bit long and wide, so...
Got Vitor in the feet. If it hits the line, Judge, it's out.
Here's Sarah Trimpe with the serve. Dug up neatly by Schwartz. They set it, and Parker can't quite get it down. Houston off the block, but the Dons keep it in play. Trimpe down the middle, and there's a miss hit by Tocek. Oh, are they going to say there was a tip? Yes, they are. So Megan Tocek, the freshman from Antioch, Illinois, gets the kill, and a 5-1 Dons lead is now pared down to 5-4. Sarah Trimpe with the serve, bumped up by Schwartz. They set it for Jess Miller, a little running dink, dug up by a sliding Trimpe, a bump set. Houston loads it up and gets it on the floor in front of Schwartz. Just like that, we're tied 5 apiece.
I think one thing that has helped IPFW and hurt Western Illinois is that Houston has not been real effective in terms of kills. She's getting most of the attempts, but until these last couple, she's not been real effective in getting kills.
Ream with a dink. Oh, and a diving save by Cerniak. Houston loads it up, dug up by Schwartz. Set comes across to Miller. Miller gets it over the net, but it comes back to the Don side. They set it again. This time, Taryn Parker gets it off the arm that time of Elise Cerniak. And the Dons reclaim the lead 6-5.
There was another instance where the first ball was returned. I don't understand why that was done. I've seen that a lot tonight.
Big serve by Becca. Back set comes to Houston, and Houston, is dug up neatly by Dominiak. Schwartz has to set. Here comes Ream down the middle. Now saved by Tocek. They come back to Megan Tocek, and she hits it right into the netting, so that'll be a point for the Dons. 7-5 IPFW. This is a spot where Rebecca Ream with that power serve can help the Dons reel off a bunch of points. Well, she's dug up. It's an overpass, though, by Muehlbauer, and it's just roofed down by Taryn Parker. Dons go back on top by 3, 8-5.
See, that doesn't go in the stats as an ace. You won't see anything in official stats about that, but an overpass, which is then terminated, is a point just like an ace.
Sure. There's an error by Becca. That'll make it 8-6.
The error does go in the stats, unfortunately.
Yes. Monique Houston is bumped up by Ashley Dillon. Down in the middle, Taryn Parker dug niftily by Cerniak. But another chance. This time, Jess Miller drops the hammer.
Another overpass. Actually, that was a set, wasn't it, that went over?
9-6 Dons. This Western Illinois team is very young. They only have 2 seniors on the squad. And a whole bunch of freshmen, and there again, the Dons win the battle at the net, take the 10-6 lead. They have 6 freshmen and 4 who see a lot of playing time. Trimpe goes to one of the freshmen, Allison Gilbert, but the Dons keep it alive. Now there's an attempt by Ashley Dillon to get it over, but the block right there by another Western freshman, Megan Tocek. So that'll make it 10-7. Elise Cerniak with a serve, bumped up by Ream. A little bit of a run for Dominiak. They'll go back to Becca. Becca through the block, but dug up by Ellen Miller. They battle at the net. And a free ball. The Dons have to save it, and a dive by Rebecca Ream. Well, they had IPFW hung out to dry, but Sarah Trimpe just tried to flip the ball over the net into an open court, and she put it right into the netting. So quite the unforced error there, and it's 11-7 Dons. Well, some indecision by Ellen Miller, and again, they're put on the defensive, so IPFW can load it up. Dominiak, Ashley Dillon, and down the line, it's a little bit wide. So an unforced error by the Dons makes it 11-8.
She's been going down that line effectively all night. She didn't miss by much there, and I thought maybe the blocker had gotten a little bit of a touch.
Chrissy Berkus with the serve, bumped up by Dillon. Well, Dominiak tries for the left-handed surprise party, and she commits the error by hitting it into the net. So the Dons are a little bit loose here in this third game. maybe feeling pretty confident with the 2-0 lead. Dominiak, Ashley Dillon, a bit of a change of pace to the floor as Miller to save it. Now the swing by Gilbert is dug up by the Dons. The set comes to Jess Miller. Dug up by Ellen Miller. The overpass is hammered down by Kylie Hervey. And the Dons move ahead 12-9.
As you said earlier, serving and passing is the key to the game, whether it's grade school kids learning it or NCAA athletes. But when it's a close match, winning at the net's sort of like winning on the line in football. It's where the power plays are happening, and that's where you really want to establish control to make other good things happen.
Ashley Dillon, little jump floater. Flipped up by Bergquist. Now the set comes, and a good slot shot by Allison Gilbert. So Gilbert is trying to get a little more active in here as she gets a kill. And for Allison Gilbert, she now has 5 kills, so she's among the leaders for the Wester Winds. That makes it a 12-10 Dons lead. Christine Simon is back in for IPFW. Set goes to Ream. Ream dug up neatly by Cerniak. Monique Houston hits it off of the antenna. Is it a case, Coach, where Monique Houston is maybe trying to do a little too much to bring her team back into this?
Well, yeah, that's part of it, certainly. They're relying on her an awful lot. But the other thing is that set wasn't in a good spot for her to hit. You have to look at her. She's not real tall. She jumps well.
Yeah.
She's quick, but she's not real tall, so there's a limit to what she can do on some of those sets.
Served by Schwartz. Not a very good pass. It has to be run down by Cerniak. Free ball, and it surprises the Dons. Little tardy in covering that ball once it got over the front line and goes off of the arm of Simon. That'll be a point for Western.
Taryn Parker made a move towards it and then stopped.
Egan with the serve. Well, the set went to Taryn Parker, and she was blocked right down the middle. So here come the Wester Winds trying to whirl their way back into the match. They now trail just by 1, 13-12, and Kate Egan, the freshman middle from Evergreen Park, Illinois, with the serve. Dons, well, they go to Ream, and Ream puts it down. The go-to lady collects another kill. Dons lead 14-12, and for Rebecca, that is her 12th kill. That leads everybody. In fact, she is the only player in double digits with the kills. Trimpe sets down the middle for Houston, and
she caught the corner. She caught the, oh no.
Well, they're saying it just drifted a little long, so that'll be a point for the Dons. IPFW leads 15-12 in game number 3. Timeout on the floor. This is IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
On IPFW Up Close this month, what impact did the first hillbilly and race records from the early 20th century have on artists and audiences? How has today's music been influenced by those early albums? What did you do on your summer vacation? We'll find out what it was like to study dinosaur footprints in Texas. And we'll also take a look at the United Way of Allen County and its annual campaign, both on and off the IPFW campus. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Access TV.
Well, as you can tell, it's a lively and rather boisterous Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. Coach, you know any of those guys?
I don't know any of those boneheads.
Along with IPFW men's volleyball assistant coach Mark Franke, Kent Horman here on CATV. And there you see IPFW again just taking control as they have the Western back row lunging all over the place. Don's trying to close this out in 3. And they're getting a lot of touches. Toe check. The Dons keep it alive. Ream. Ooh, she pounds it down, but a good save by Muehlbauer. They'll have to play the free ball over. Schwartz with a neat little bump set. They come down the middle, and Taryn Parker down the middle one-on-one is blocked by Megan Tochek. So the 6'3 freshman says, I'll get in the way of that, and that makes it 15-13.
The sets are fairly tight to the net, but she just goes straight into the block rather than trying to use an angle.
Dominiak sets for Ream down the middle, and there again is Megan Tochek. So Tochek with back-to-back blocks right down the pipe, and it's 15-14. Western is within 1. Sarah Trimpe, the senior setter, serves it up again, bumped up by Rebecca. The back set Rebecca with the dink, but a crafty move by Cerniak covering it up, and the set goes this time to Chrissy Bergquist. She puts it down, and we are tied at 15 apiece, so the timeout is just what Kim McKay, the coach of Western Illinois, and her crew needed. Sarah Trimpe continues to serve and serve well. Ream, good ball for Dominiak. Set goes to Jess Miller, blocked again. Dominiak reloads, this time for Ream. Ream dug up by Cerniak along the line. There's an overpass, but the Dons don't do anything with it. Now here comes the set. Ream loads it up. She's blocked, tries to save it, and it goes wide. And all of a sudden, it is 16-15 in favor of Western. And Kelly Hartley-Hutton wants a timeout to talk it over with her crew. So just like that, Coach, boy, momentum has shifted in a hurry.
It has. The momentum has shifted, and the play on the IPFW side has gotten very tentative.
Well, IPFW won the opener as they took game number 1, 25-18. They took game number 2, 25-20. They seem to have this one under control. But all of a sudden, here comes Western back to take the 16-15 lead. And this reminder, again, you can follow all sorts of IPFW athletics on the website. It is a dandy. It's recently created by Assistant Athletic Director and Director of Sports Information and Media Relations, Rudy Jovich. www.gomastodons.com. You can get all the latest IPFW scores and stats on the World Wide Web. GoMastodons.com. Check up on the teams, players, and order tickets on the official Mastodon Athletics website, GoMastodons.com. And boy, folks, don't forget the IPFW men's basketball team plays its home opener next Wednesday at Memorial Coliseum against Michigan State. Yep, the Spartans, Tom Izzo's crew from the Big Ten, comes to the Big Barn Wednesday, 7 o'clock at the Coliseum. Off the slide, Jess Miller manages to get the ball through the block.
And then Saturday's homecoming, right?
Saturday is homecoming. That is correct. Yeah, that is the beginning of a 3-game homestand for IPFW. Ream with the big serve, but too much starch on it, so that'll be an error. Yeah, the Dons will have Michigan State, and they will also have Eastern Illinois and Indiana University East coming in as part of that homestand. Schwartz saves the ball, then a one-handed set by Dominiak, but the set that time goes to Allison Gilbert, and Gilbert, the freshman, is starting to rev her game up a little bit. She gets the kill, and all of a sudden, 18-16 Western. Monique Houston, Schwartz decides to play it on the dive. Ashley Dillon down the middle, but bumped up by Cerniak. Now the set goes to Bergquist. She just flips it over. Dominiak on the slide to Miller. Miller off the block. Cerniak is there. Trimpe down the middle. And what a block that time by Taryn Parker. Right back at Megan Tocek. Well, she got a dose of her own medicine that time because...
That's right. You hit it straight into the block, it comes right back at you.
She's been a force in the middle as far as blocking the Dons. Well, Taryn Parker says, think I'll return the favor. Ellen Miller bumps up the Dons serve. They shoot it across. Gilbert kept alive by IPFW. Jess Miller with a dink, but there's Cerniak. She's been very active in that libero spot. Gilbert gets it through the block. Diving save that time by Ashley Dillon. Bergquist, and does she hit it wide? Yes, she does. No touch by the Dons. Kim McKay, the coach of Western, can't believe it. Now we're all even at 18. Now, Coach McKay is not happy with that call or lack thereof.
Yeah, I think it's a ball handling call she didn't like.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
So here comes the set again to Allison Gilbert. They have been going to her.
Back. Ooh. That was a back row setter. I forgot. I thought I was on the bench. I was trying to yell to the official.
Well, they recognized it anyway, and the Dons go ahead by the score of 19-18. We have timeout on the floor. Dons lead by 1 on game number 3. And this is Mastodons Volleyball on CATV. Well, as you see right now, Coach, they're going to just talk things over in the huddle right now. I think IPFW, and you see Stephen Florio, who is just kind of instructing his girls about a few things there. I'm not sure what Kim McKay can be telling her charges. And there you see Jess Miller on the slide. It's tipped up by the block, and Cerniak tries to set it. They come right down the middle, and that time, Megan Tocek, one-on-one, is blocked by Taryn Parker. So just as you called it before, you know, right there you had Tocek, who blocked the Dons the last couple times, and Well, they decide, okay, if you're going to be swinging really tight to the tape, we'll just set our block up there and see if we can give it right back to you.
Well, what coaches always tell the middles, don't hit it straight away. Hit it left, hit it right, do something to try to either get it around the blocker or go off the blocker's elbows or hands, and that way the ball's likely to drop on the floor.
19-18 Dons in game 3. They lead 2-0, and Taryn Parker with a really crisp serve. The overpass, can they get it down? No, free ball is played over. It's like a pinball match right now. Jess Miller loads it up, blocked. Hervey tries to keep it alive. Well, this is an interesting rally, and that time Ashley Dillon wipes it off the block, and the Dons will take the point, and they are 5 points away from winning the match as they now take the 20-18 lead.
Neither team is very disciplined with that. They need to play the ball, run a play, rather than just keep throwing it back across the net like they've been doing.
It's almost like it's a hot potato. Well, there's a good dig off the floor by Ellen Miller, and going down the line is Chrissy Bergquist, and give her the kill, so that cuts the Dons lead to 1 at 20-19. And Elise Cerniak, the junior out of Chicago, had a pretty good match. Will serve it up. To a knee goes Ream to bump it up. Back set goes to Jess Miller. Boy, she rips it through the block, but there's Cerniak to dig it. Now they go to Bergquist. The dig by Dominiak. Hervey keeps it alive. They have to play the free ball over. Trimpe back sets, and will they call the double hit? They do. So, boy, there's kind of a mishandle you wouldn't expect from a senior setter, but the double hit is called, and Dons, with a valuable point, move ahead 21-19.
That's the first call like that, other than the obvious one from Dominiak early, so it must be getting sloppier and sloppier.
Trimpe goes to Gilbert. Dons block it. Now they back set to Bergquist. The dink. Oh, a good save that time by Dominiak.
Oh, no, that's illegal.
The way she flipped it up.
Yeah, I think that was an illegal set.
Now here comes Ashley Dillon. Well, the save by Western comes back on the Don side. Reeb loads it up. Kept alive by Ellen Miller. Cerniak, they'll bump the free ball over. Good pass, and Dominiak tries a surprise party, saved by the shoulder by Cerniak. And all Allison Gilbert then does is, like a wily veteran, the freshman wipes it off the Don's block to make it 21-20. So, Coach, you felt the save by Dominiak was illegal, the way she flipped the ball
No, I think the libero set the ball in front of the 3-meter line. That's not legal.
Ashley Dillon off the block. Now it comes to Gilbert. She wipes it off the Don's block, but it comes back to the Western side and lands on the floor inside the sideline. Great play by IPFW, and now it's 22-20 Dons.
I had Kelly standing right in front of me, so I might have missed that play.
Ashley Dillon with a good serve, the overpass. Dominiak sets for Ream. She has an opening. Cerniak saves it. Some indecision, and the ball lands in the Bermuda Triangle. It lands between 3 Westerwinds. You could almost see that coming. There wasn't a peep made on that side. No communication. And now 23-20 IPFW. Trimpe tries to flip it over. Goes off the body that time of Dillon. A lunging attempt by Schwartz to save it, but she can't get it back near her teammates. So now 23-21. Dons are 2 points from the match. And Christine Simon is back in for IPFW for Jess Miller. Pumped up by Dillon. Dominiak to Ream. Ream off the block, and it cannot be saved that time by a rolling Muehlbauer. And we have match point coming up here for the Dons. Fans are on their feet here at the Gate Center. And the serve barely gets over. Another great save by Cerniak. And Houston wipes it off the Dons block. So that makes it 24-22. Dons still have a match point. Well, this will be the first time in 6 years Kelly Hartley Hutton's team will not win at least 20 matches, but they've had a pretty good year, and she had a tough start to the season and a tough pre-conference schedule. Ream with the dink, and there's the way to close it out. Kill number 14 for Ream, and it's a crafty little dink, and the Dons have won 25-22, and they have swept this match in 3 consecutive games, 25-18, 25-20, and then the clincher, 25-22. Handshakes all around. Well wishes being extended to Kelly Hartley Hutton and her staff by the head coach of Western Illinois, Kim McKay. It'll be the drive back to Macomb, Illinois for Western Illinois, and their season is over as they will finish 9-22 for the year, 5-11 in Summit League play. But this is a very, very young team. They'll only graduate 2 players, and a load of good-looking freshmen will be sophomores next year, so Western may be heard from down the line. The Dons now 16-13, 11-5 overall in the Summit League, and they do secure that 3rd seed in the Summit League tournament that will be played on the 21st and 22nd in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So the Dons have won this one. You see they're getting ready for the annual autograph session that they have at the end of each match, and as they get ready for postseason play. Mark, your final comments here about the IPFW women's volleyball team and what they'll have to do to be successful in this tournament. North Dakota State, Oral Roberts, IPFW, and IUPUI. It'll be a tough tourney.
It'll be a tough tournament, and what IPFW has to do is improve the ball handling so their offense can flow a little more cleanly. And in the meantime, they need to keep working on the aggressive serving, because that has always been a strength for this team. And like they did tonight, they need to control things at the net, particularly in the middle.
Well, again, the Dons win it in 3 consecutive games, and that's the way you want to close things out, especially for the 4 seniors here in the final home match of their careers. The Dons win it over Western Illinois in 3 consecutive games. We'll take this time out and come back to wrap things up. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
Salam. Salam. Hey, what?
Ride. Apa pa? Pa.
Mir. Shanti. Nyep chanyok di.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs
Solva.
are making it happen.
Lucky.
Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding around the world. Rotary. Humanity in motion.
Power's out, but your food safety plan is on. Don't open the fridge. Foods will be safe for up to 4 hours if the door stays closed. Keep the freezer shut too. If it's full, the food will stay frozen for about 2 days. When power returns, make sure freezer foods have ice crystals, and check fridge foods with a food thermometer to make sure they're at 40 degrees or below. If not, or if there's any doubt, throw it out. Learn more at www.askkaren.gov or call the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Meat and Poultry Hotline at 1-888-MP Hotline.
Diabetes is a killer. After I was diagnosed, I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
People with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer a stroke than people without diabetes, and many who survive are severely disabled.
Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
Learn how to reduce your risk of stroke. Call for your free diabetes survival guide.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Now, welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW, along with IPFW men's volleyball assistant coach Mark Franke. Kent Horman here on CATV, and it is a happy bunch here at the Gate Center as the IPFW women's volleyball team has closed out its regular season, the full season, which included pre-conference, and then this the final match in Summit League play against Western Illinois. And the Dons close out the Western wins in 3 consecutive games as they win 25-18, 25-20, and then completing the sweep in Game 3, 25-22. So the field is set, and the pairings are set for the Summit League women's volleyball tournament that will be November 21st and 22nd in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is the home of Oral Roberts University. North Dakota State will be the number 1 seed, Oral Roberts the number 2 seed, IPFW will be the 3 seed, which was important, and that's why they had to win tonight's match. IUPUI will be the 4 seed, so if anything, Coach, it won't be easy. The Dons will have to open against Oral Roberts on their floor, but I really think that's better than having to open against the conference champs, North Dakota State, who will play then IUPUI, because IPFW has defeated Oral Roberts. They know that they can handle that volleyball team.
Yeah, it's really important to not be the 4th seed in a 4-team tournament, because it means you're going up against the number 1 seed right off the bat. And so it's good to be able to play someone that you've played twice and beaten once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. I think tonight, I looked at the stats during the break here, and I think it was good that the offense started picking up a little more distribution, particularly on the left side and the right side of the pin, but the middle still could probably get more involved in the offense and more effectively involved. Our middles hit 8% and 25%. Actually, Kylie Hervey, other than our setter, was our top hitter in percentage-wise. So if we can get the offense distributed a little more into the middle, that will help. And I think that's probably the key thing they have to do. Of course, you can't do that unless you pass the ball.
Rebecca Ream leading the way with 14 kills, and as you say, it's never a news flash when Rebecca Ream leads the way with kills, but you also notice this, a lot more distribution, which is key, because that way, especially in that first match against Oral Roberts, everybody knows Rebecca Ream. They'll probably try to stack the defense against Rebecca, but if Jess Miller can come on, Kylie Hervey contributes. I thought Ashley Dillon did a good job off the bench. She just the freshman, but a good star out of Bishop Dwenger. You're going to have multiple dimensions so that you can try to confuse the defense as a team like Oral Roberts will throw at you.
Correct. Ashley Dillon actually got 17 sets tonight, and that's a good number. Maybe could be a little higher, and she was going down the line effectively for a while. So in addition to that line shot, she's got to develop a cross-court shot, because on the left side, she's going to go up against a big block frequently. And so she's going to have to learn how to use the whole floor and the weakness of the block in order to get kills other than down the line. But she's a freshman.
Yeah.
And it was good to see the confidence that Jessica Dominiak had in her tonight, and it's just been good to see her develop over the course of the year.
And there you see Jessica Dominiak, the lefty, signing some autographs along with Christine Simon. Those are two of the seniors who played their final match here of their careers at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. They'd still like to play a lot more volleyball, starting with the Summit League tournament. Of course, there's Jessica Miller, the other senior, and Kylie Hervey, the 4th senior. They were honored prior to tonight's match. And speaking of Jessica Dominiak, and Coach, we've talked about this no matter what level, whether it's the men's or the women's game. You know, I think to me it kind of begins and ends with the setter, because the setter is like the quarterback of any successful football team, and the setter has to get it done. So it'll be important for Jess Dominiak to have a good tournament.
Yeah, and right there we see her setting back row to Jess Miller out of the back row on the right side.
And there again an overpass, and it's put down by Taryn Parker. Volleyball is such a team game. Again, you have to have your stars, you have senior leadership, but everybody will have to contribute, because you have to have all 6 people out there firing in all cylinders. There was that good block, and Megan Tocek for a while there was looking very good, but then they finally started to solve her a little bit, and then when she tried to go down the middle, they returned the favor. But it seemed that for the most part, the Dons did kind of win those battles at the net, and that's why they were able to wear down this young Western Illinois team.
Particularly in the middle of the match, and then coming back from the 10-minute break after the second set, coming out, not playing quite as well in the third, but hanging on and then running the score at the end in order to win that.
Well, again, there you see some of the highlights from the match, and the highlights favored the team in blue, because IPFW winning this one again in 3 consecutive games, 25-18, 25-20, 25-22. They conclude the regular season with a record of 16-13, 11-5 in the Summit League. Western Illinois winds up 9-22, 5-11 in Summit League play. Coach, a pleasure to work with you. Thanks a lot for the help and the insight tonight.
It was my pleasure entirely, Kent.
Well, again, the Dons win it, and they wrap up regular season play. That'll do it for our coverage here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Once again, IPFW defeats Western Illinois in 3 consecutive games, 25-18, 25-20, 25-22. For Mark Franke, I'm Kent Harmon. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's broadcast. This has been a CATV Sports exclusive.
There's something you can